Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm Travis Brungardt here in Goodyear, Arizona with Cliff McDonald. What are we doing here, Cliff?
Well, Travis, this is where we do our big door installation training. And today we're going to take you through our folding door and multi-glide training.
Awesome. Well, then I'll share with you guys the top 5 things I learned at big door training. Let's go inside and check it out.
Let's go.
Thank you, sir. Oh, gorgeous in here.
All right, we'll put on some PPE and then we'll head back to the lab and get some training going on.
Good deal. All right, first thing, we just had a great session with Trevor talking about the importance of planning. And as a builder, it's so frustrating to have the plan set that doesn't necessarily specify the product, but it gives me a size. And then the client in their architectural magazine sees your big door and is like, oh yeah, let's add that there. But there are some pretty key components that have to be baked into that in order to make it work. What are those 3 things?
Well, first, you got to think about the operation type. How do you want that space to function? Do you want a folding door? Do you want a sliding door or a gliding door? That's the first thing. Second, you got to think about wall depth. If you have a multi-glide with multiple panels, you got to account for that in the wall depth,
Gotcha.
Especially if you're adding a screen.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then the other thing is the rough opening prep and the header. You got to make sure that that header can support the door and the sill is flush and level to be able to support that gliding door as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So these big doors usually require big headers, and we've got to figure out the loads and make sure that it's going to work. Okay, all right, number 2. You guys offer a lot of different sills, and some of the differences are for aesthetic reasons, the sit on top versus the flush, but there's also something about performance grade ratings, which is something that I was not familiar with. Can you talk through that?
Yeah, so a performance grade rating is just a rating of how well the door resists water penetration and can handle structural load. So our on-floor sill for the multi-glide is rated up to, the multi-glide has a PG-30 rating. Our folding door has up to a PG-50 rating with its sill. Yeah.
So that's a code requirement in different areas potentially. And so you're designing for all over the world, you've got to know the local codes and what's required of you. I'm thinking about this more on the builder side where I'm going, this is one aesthetic, this is a much harder install to be prepared for. I'm going to have to set this into the concrete. We're leveling it up with fender washers. We're pouring concrete or self-leveler to support it as part of the manufacturer's spec. So this is more involved. I shouldn't say harder. It's just more involved. You got to be ready for it. Whereas this is more traditional installation, and you would choose a different one of these depending on your aesthetic choice,
yep,
but also potentially this performance grade.
No, I think you hit it, and that's why it's important to plan for this up front, because the difference in how you prep the rough opening between the 2 different types.
All right, number 3. We teased this a little bit in number 2 because we got into the sills a little bit, but I want to talk to you about the coverage from the class on rough opening prep, because all builders are used to plumb, level, and square. We're going to set our laser. We're going to make sure that everything's good to go. We're pulling diagonals. All that's part of the deal. But there's a couple things that I thought were worth noting. We talked about in the class setting with a 1/2 inch of space above, so making sure our header was going to be able to accommodate. And I suggested, you can do that. You can set your laser and measure up to it and make sure that you're level across the bottom too. I like to use a gauge block in that application because I can slide it and see if I have a high spot that's just 2 inches wide. Because if I only measure here and then I measure here, I don't pick up that I need to plane it right here. Can you talk a little bit about, Trevor referred to it as depression. I thought of it as a recess, but talk about how the sills that we just showed have to integrate into the floor profile for a rough opening.
Yeah, so depending on what sill you're going to use, if you're using the on-floor drainage sill, you're going to want to make sure that you've got your finished floor height set relative to the top of that sill. And then that means you've got to appropriately prepare the sill portion of the roof opening to accommodate that. If you're using a flush sill, then you're going to have to look at how you recess that in order so that it lines up with the finished floor and lines up with the exterior flooring or whatever is coming after that, just to make sure that it's all flush.
Sure. And the guidelines that you guys have online really spell this all out, and there's some really clear delineations between, yes, this is your rough opening to finished floor consideration, because it does change from one sill to the other. So great job on making that clear. That's going to get us to a successful install. All right, number 4. This was something cool that I've never seen before. We've put in a lot of different windows and doors in our time, but I've never actually seen this. Describe what this is.
So it's called a jacking screw. And so the outer barrel of this device locks into the frame material, and the inner barrel is free to rotate. And this is essentially an adjustable shim. So you can use an Allen wrench to adjust the height of this shim to be snug against the rough opening, and then pre-drill and apply your fastener through this. And so when you apply the fastener, it doesn't change the height of the shim. It's 2 independent actions, which is something that's much better than some of the other options out there.
Well, yeah, this gives me lifetime adjustability. So I decide that I'm going to remodel the bathroom upstairs, and we add a hot tub in the bathroom up here, and now this beam wants to deflect. My jam is going to be too tight. My door's not going to operate right, but I can back that screw out and then just get in there with a number 8 Allen key and take a little off. Exactly.
After installation, you can do that, and it's easy to do, and you just back your fastener out, readjust it where you want it, and put your fastener back in, and you're good to go.
So this is faster than the stack of shims on the way in, and then if I ever have to change it, it's faster to fix than ripping off all the trim and redoing it. So this was a total game changer for us. Great session, Cliff.
Travis, we can't let you leave without showing you the showroom with the full product installed, and here we are.
Yeah, this is great. So the smaller unit that we trained on, this is the big lift and slide?
This is the folding door. So
the folding door, excuse me.
This is the folding door.
Of course.
So what we have here is a 3-panel configuration. So you've got exterior access on the end panel here, and you activate the chute bolts and unlock the other 2, and you can fold this open all the way. So you can see, Travis, how the folding door really gives you that optimization of, narrow wall depth and clear opening.
Right, I don't have to have a giant pocket to track everything into. I don't have to have a stationary panel. I get the full width of my opening, but in a narrow wall depth.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's even more impressive than in the small install that we just did with it. So that's cool.
It is. And new this year, we just launched a corner configuration with our folding door. So you can go odd panels up to 20 feet in either direction in a corner configuration.
So you can get that
a great addition.
That dramatic effect at the the kitchen island that looks out over the pool, and you see that in all the architectural magazines. You guys are on it. So that's impressive, but what else are we looking at here?
Well, we've got a multi-glide door over here, and different from the folding door, this has multiple panels that slide on a track. So the more panels you have, the more tracks.
Right.
And the other difference is you operate the lead panel. So the lead panel, as you open the door, it catches the subsequent panels, and you can open the door all the way just by operating that lead panel. And the same when you close it. Pull the lead panel, it catches those subsequent panels, and you can close the door like so.
Yeah, that's even more impressive than it was down in the training center, because obviously we want to be able to work with what we can handle physically, but for this larger one, you can really see how impressive it is for the opening size. Can you give me a sense of the other options here? Because I remember Trevor said, we didn't have one down there, but it was the pocketing type.
Yeah.
So how wide can I get my clear spans and not see glass when the door's open?
Yeah. So in addition to the stacking configurations, we can do a pocketed configuration where all the panels will hide away into the wall, and then you get that full clear opening.
That's gorgeous. So there's one more thing. I promised you 5. We've already given you 4. The 5th thing that I wanted to share, talk to me about how you can help builders and architects, what resources you have for us, because it's a lot more than just order my windows and doors. You guys offer a lot of support here. Talk about that for me.
Well, on our website, we offer and provide sizing configurators. We have installation instructions, rough opening prep instructions, as well as architectural detail files. And those are resources and documents that help in the planning stage. But in addition to that, we've got a consultation program, and as you've experienced today, an install training program.
Yes.
So the consultation, if you need one of our experts to jump on a call with an architect or an installer in the planning phase to talk about that rough opening prep to talk about what's the best door for that application, we've got the technical experts that can do that. Or if you need a FaceTime call at a job site and someone has a question and they just want to get a quick answer, we can do that too, as well as a job site visit for a couple of hours while the door is being installed to help with that. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure that our customers are successful and have a successful big door experience so that it just achieves what the homeowner wants to achieve with their project.
That's great, man. Supporting the product with the level of commitment to design that you've already provided to this point, it's excellent hand in glove. Those are your 5 great things that I learned at Big Door Training here at Andersen and Goodyear. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.